At Harmony School and Rhinos Youth Center, using the arts to develop creative and critical thinking skills is a major priority in preparing students for the future marketplace.
It provides them an artistic outlet through media, through silk screening, through musical spirit too, where they help run the club and they help book the bands, and they put together a newsletter, and it has become a youth center that they run. And to be able to mix creativity with some sort of outcome-based project is basically what happens here in our after-school programs. They will take Photoshop, and they will take InDesign, and they will take WordPress, and they will take Publisher Suite and Pro Tools and Final Cut Pro and these kind of things, and create something. But then that whatever they create has to fit into the newsletter. It has to be able to go on the air on the radio station. It has to be able to be broadcast on YouTube or on the television show that we have on Cats. It's actually a real-life application of creative work. They're free programs. Young people don't have to do this. They're not working towards a grade. They're literally working towards a goal, a deadline, if you will, that they would have to in the work environment. Part of what we do here is job training. Practical applications of Photoshop, practical applications of InDesign, not just fulfilling a requirement in a class. This is what they would be doing in a job situation.
Past knowledge was a premium, so the set of knowledge that an employee brought to a business was often the skill set of using that knowledge was the value that they brought as well. But in the future, knowledge will be more of a commodity. It already is becoming so with Google and Wikipedia and the internet. So employees don't need to bring knowledge as much as they need to bring creativity and problem solving, the ability to work in teams. And a great way to get that background is through the arts, through music, through those more creative ways of learning, because that skill set will be a premium for this generation entering the workforce the next 5 to 10 years and beyond. So that's going to be a big shift in how we have to teach and prepare people for work.
I think human beings are complex organisms, and you know, we, even the most scientific and mathematically skilled students still have all this creative energy that they need, you know, to put somewhere. You know, Steve Jobs was a huge success, not just because he came up with these amazing, you know, inventions like the iPhone and the iPad, but they looked stunning, and the operating system, you know, that they run on is a treat to use. He also marketed it, you know, masterfully. Those are all things that come through the creative arts part of education, rather than, you know, the hard math and science.
And they recognize that not everyone learns the same way, and so they bring in a lot of the arts into trying to learn around a particular theme. When they were studying power and energy, a bunch of the kids from that class put in a proposal to the Arts Foundation here in Bloomington to come up with a solar installation, an artistic solar installation. And they went before the board and they got the money, and so it was really exciting for them and felt very empowering. And it was all about learning about energy, but it ended up having this artistic component to it and this grant running component to it. So I think they really encourage the whole person and not just the academics.
Unfortunately, in traditional schools, time for the arts and for creative activities have been dramatically cut back because of the pressures of state testing and the pressures of teachers. How teachers' pay is tied into their test scores. At Harmony, we don't have those pressures. So we're able to really not only fulfill what's unfortunately increasingly becoming a vacuum in schools in this country. Research studies have shown that the arts make up no more than 4% of the curriculum. It's not only important because it's an important part of learning, but increasingly it's becoming important because it's just not being offered very many other places. About 40% of our staff are either have been or are currently performing artists, visual artists, music performers. So the arts really permeate our culture.
Rhino's mission statement is quite simply to provide entertainment and engagement for the youth of our community in a safe, alcohol, tobacco, and drug-free environment. That's the mission statement. Now what it is it quite literally provides an outlet for the young people of our community, and not just Bloomington, not just Monroe County, but all these surrounding counties.
So 50% of our kids are considered low income by federal standards, but regardless of their socioeconomic background, they're receiving a privileged education here at Harmony. It's an independent school education that's high quality, and so we want the kids that graduate from here, that attend here. 95% of our graduates get into the college of their first choice. 80% of our kids, out of our 200 students here in Harmony, are on scholarship assistance. 20% pay full tuition.
Is we provide engaging programming in media and the arts that is connected to job training, that is connected to creativity, that is connected to young people being able to be themselves and to use these tools to get that out. There's not a lot of areas where any young person can actually be themselves and be creative without having it to be tied to a test score. This is free. What we offer here is free. So they can come in and they can do all this, and they can fail. We give them the opportunity to fail at things and then be able to assess why they failed. And we do this all in the hours that's most important for young people to have some engaging opportunities. Those after school hours, 3 to 6, and then on the weekends, 8 to midnight. Every study you see on any sort of negative lifestyle behaviors that teenagers go through is during those hours. Those hours when they're home alone after school, or those hours on the weekends when they are looking for something to do in that age range. Because we're in a college town in this community, teens get lost in that shuffle. So if they head to college-age parties, trouble is going to ensue. Somehow, bad lifestyle choices are going to happen. I can show any contributor, I can show anyone that what we do here makes a difference. But the best way to do it is to quite literally look at the newsletter when it comes out, or listen to youth radio, or watch them while they're screen printing stuff, and see how much of a difference that this opportunity makes in their lives.
Well, I think Harmony is a school like no other. It's a unique school, something I'm certainly proud of, where I've spent every day of my life for the last 40 years. One of the main things that's unique about it, besides just the quality education and the creative education we give and the wonderful teachers we have, we want it to remain accessible to young people regardless of their ability to pay. That's of utmost importance. And of our budget, which is about $1.4 million, because we charge parents on a sliding scale depending on their ability to pay, only about 40% of our overall budget comes from tuition, which again is, I think, unusual related to independent schools. So we cannot survive without the generosity of the Bloomington community and the surrounding South Central Indiana, Indianapolis area, and really anywhere throughout the state. It's a unique school that can only survive though with the generosity of outside people who don't currently have their kids in the school.